Chromaline Corporation. What I'm going to show you today is how to set up the EPSON 1430. With this package you're going to get inkjet film, the filmmaker rip, and a set of ink cartridges. They're all black, and these will be installed into this printer. Okay, now that you've got the printer turned on, everything ready to go, the next big step is to load these ink cartridges into this printer. Now when you get this printer, you're going to get these from EPSON. You don't use these. These just set on the side. They're no good. We're going to be installing an all black system. So, next step, raise this lid, push this button, and this cartridge will move back and forth until it centers right here. Once this is centered, you're ready to install the cartridges. Now these cartridges come in a nice sealed plastic. You got to break this. And these would install just like any other printer would. Let's just start with, let's see, this one will have a color, magenta. Pull that. Find the magenta here. Here, so this will go in. Make sure it snaps in. What we got here? Cyan. Light cyan. Yellow. Light magenta. And this better be black. Now, even though they have colors on here, these are all black inside. It's nothing but black ink in here. We are now set to set up the rip, and the rip will guide us through the rest of the setup. Close that lid, route this down. We're ready to go for the next step. All right, well, we're going to double click on the filmmaker that we've now installed in the computer. As you can see, it says welcome. This is the wizard. Pretty easy to follow. Just click next. Make sure you have film separations checked. Click next. Here's where you got to make sure you have the right printer. And this just happens to be the EPSON 1430, so I have to find it here. There it is, right here. Click on that. And now for the port, I got to make sure I have the right port. EPSON 1430 USB. Click next. And it's loading the driver onto the computer. It's done. Now click next one more time. Now as you can see, it says type, sheet media, size. Now this printer will do up to 13 by 19, but I have it set at 11 by 17. Now click next. Now resolution. This is, you have a choice. You can do 1440 by 1440 or all the way down 720, 720. Let's just pick on 720 by 720. And ink setup, single black. We want multiple black because of those cartridges that are in your printer package. Make sure these are all checked. Click next. Now this one here, you want to uncheck this let filmmaker manage the halftone options, because your art programs such as Corel or Adobe or Illustrator are going to do that. So we'll uncheck that. Click next. Now enter a name. I'm just keeping the same name. Next. And then save. Now it says, do you want to allow? Yes, you do. Now up comes the ink density test page. You can print out a test page. I would recommend printing the high level instead of the low ink level, because this is where you're going to be anyways. I'm just going to get rid of this number right now. And we'll print test. You can see right here, it's pulling up all these test targets. Okay, once his test targets are all up, it's time to print it. So I'll just click on it. But notice how I went highlighted blue all the way around. And you got all this stuff here. If you go up to Jobs, Print, you click Print, and say this is the first time. Do you want to review your settings? No, I don't at this time. You can see here, it says printing, 10%. Now it's going to take a little while because there's lots of targets to print out. But your printer should be making some type of noise right around now. Well, now that you've printed this sheet, what you have to do is look at these targets from 16 through 29, 30 here. Pick one that prints the best. Well, as you can see here, right after printing, this is still wet. And that's obviously no good. As you go up in the numbers here, like the 16, that's dry, that's pretty opaque. But if you look at this through a glass or whatever, you can see that this black at number 20 is probably the best one. That's the one I'm going to pick, number 20. So what you do is this number 20, you would go up to the Q ink density test page and put the number in, like that. And you click done. So we got that all done, but there's one thing I'd like you to do, and that is go up to Q, go to Properties, click on Print Mode Override, and go to Calibration Control and click on this. Now in the Calibration Control, there's a lot of information on here that you really shouldn't be too concerned with, but what you should look at is right down here where it says In-Rip Separations. If you have this checked, what it's going to do is think that you want everything you send to this rip to be ripped into a 4-color separation, and you don't. For example, say you got a 5-color job. You send that 5-color job over to your the rip. You'll think you want to rip all 5 colors 4 times, and you end up with 20 positives. You don't want that. So uncheck that. Click OK. Now we are ready to print something, and I just happen to have some artwork from my Corel set up here. This happens to be a 10-color job. What you do is you go to File, Print Setup, and here's where it's important to make sure you have it directed in the right direction. Name EPSON Artisan 1430 separations. I just happen to have quite a few different ones here, but we want that one. Make sure it's the default printer's ready to go. Type EPSON Artisan 1430 separations. Where? Filmmaker. If it doesn't say Filmmaker, it's not going in the right direction. Click OK. Now I'm going to go to File, Print. Print again. Now I'm just going to minimize this. And it's going to be generated in a preview here in just a second. And there it is. So I'll just click on this. Let me center this a little bit better here. Now there's my artwork. And if you're wondering, are the pages there? They are. Here's one, and if I want to see them all, there they are, all the pages I've got, all 10 colors. Apply. I'm now ready to print. And I'm going to hit this. And as you can see, it says page output graphic, active, 24% is growing there. And it should start to print any second here. Once it's printed, it's going to come up, it's going to just like that, just like that. And it's going to print all 10 pages. And this would be true for Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever, any artwork. And by the way, I did print this out at a 55 line halftone, And this one is a cyan, and I got 45 line halftone, and it's 15 degree angle. That's all there is to it.